2025, if you want to rob a bank, you don't have to go in with a gun anymore and do a stick up or hold up and ask for the cash, go to the vault and get a bag of money and run out and have to worry about the cops. All you have to do is get with credit cards and exploit the rewards that these credit cards give you and that the banks give you. Actually, hundreds and probably thousands, I don't know the exact number, tens of thousands of people do this every year and take thousands and probably total hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars from banks like Chase, B of A, Citi, etc. every single year. Now, why I wanted to make this video was a lot of people don't understand why this is possible. They think, why would it be possible that you can just get this Chase card and Chase is basically gonna pay for your whole vacation, pay for your flight and or your hotel or whatever the case? Why would Chase pay for your travel? Why would, Citi just pay this money, to pay for your travel? And the reason is because people are not using credit cards correctly. So this is just a byproduct of people who don't know how to use credit cards correctly, giving the banks a bunch of money, a surplus of money, a exaggerated amount of money through debt, which we know is one of the, if you're in debt to somebody, you're a slave to them, instantly taking all this money from people through debt, for decades upon decades. It's up to like over $1 trillion, if not trillions of dollars in debt, right? This is the reason why, on a case-by-case basis, you or I can just be like, hey, I want to get this credit card, leverage it to have, a free vacation, free travel. And I'm just using travel because it's, one aspect, but it's a bunch of other, things annually that you can get, outsized value on, right, from a credit card. So the banks will allow you to basically rob them of thousands of dollars annually because they're robbing the average citizen of thousands, if not more, annually every year, right? So I actually did a little experiment. I went on ChatGPT. I'm going to show you guys what it said. I asked ChatGPT a little question. I didn't even know if it would give me a correct answer because how ChatGPT kind of has the wrong interpretation sometimes. But I asked it, how much free value do credit card pros like me take from banks? And it did a rough annual extraction estimate, and it came out to $7,000 to $12,000 a year. Now that's obviously going to be a rough estimate, right? Depends on the person, how many cards, and what lifestyle things. But it showed subs, which is an intro bonuses, 4 to 6 per year, being 3 to 6K in value, which I think is a little low, especially for 4 to 6. It's probably gonna be closer to 10K. And then you did travel perks, lounge, FHR, which I'm not sure what that is, and then insurance, 2K annually, which sounds about right. Dining travel credits, 800 to 1200. I think that's a little low, but over 1,000 for sure. Cashback points redemptions. This is where you have this uncapped potential, because depending on who you are and your spend, you can have 5-6 figures in cashback and points redemptions annually. But even hundreds, it's gonna be hundreds to a couple thousand, even for lower income people. And then referral bonuses, which is kind of a weird one, but 5 to 2,000 it says. So 7 to 12,000. Again, like I said, I think some of these numbers are off. I think it's probably closer to 20,000 plus. Again, at a median level, obviously it's going to depend, but I think this should be more at like $17,000 to $24,000 in value that you can annually take from banks. This is why the title of this video is about being able to rob banks, because now, like I said, it is absolutely true that you can just rob banks in 2025. I don't know if this video is gonna get, you know, flagged for saying that, but it is true. Banks are robbing people at an all-time high. So the fact that, you know, Chase, or, you know, and I don't mean to say rob, you know, people get in debt through, you know, a lot of their own choices, right? But nonetheless, people are getting in debt by these banks at a monumental level, trillions, to the tune of trillions, right? Which is the reason why you can steal 5 figures, tens of thousands of dollars from banks annually by dealing with credit cards. That's why I got a bunch of videos on credit cards if you want to go in and see the particulars of the details. But absolutely, you know, it's just a furtherance of what I'm talking about, of why credit cards are not the devil, why credit cards are not this bad, evil thing, and how people just have to understand finances better, because this is a real thing. Like I said, you can flat out rob the banks in 2025 of a bunch of money. And obviously, again, like I always need to say, use them wisely and don't be an idiot. And if you're an idiot or you don't have discipline, don't mess with credit cards until you do get some discipline. But yeah, so that's the case. ChatGPT says 7 to 12. I think it's like $17,000 to $24,000 you can get from robbing banks. So if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed the information, let me know. I'll see you guys in the next one.